Hello there everyone, and welcome back to Empire Total War 2 with this French campaign. So, as the Queen commands, we shall obey. It's time to attack the Dutch. The bastards have, well, they took Brussels last episode. If you watch that, you know what's going on. It's time to put them in their place once more. It's going to be interesting to see what kind of troop they are able to gather. They have quite a few soldiers. A lot more than I thought. A lot more than I thought. Still, I have about 6,000 men against their 4,000. It's going to be interesting. I think the key pieces of information out of the battle or out of the startup here is the blue guard, I think that's supposed to be. And the cannons. I have a definite advantage in cavalry. But let's not linger. Let's go ahead and teach these bastards a lesson. And then take that lesson all the way to their capital. The enemy's deployment zone is cut in half by a town. There's also quite a bit of uneven terrain and a forest in between our forces. I'm thinking that in typical AI fashion they will deploy all their artillery within town, unable to bombard us. That's what we're hoping for anyways. To avoid get my generals absolutely massacred by the cannon fire right at the start, I have deployed my cannons, or my officers, way off to the left. Then we've got the Swiss through here, backed up by pikemen. We got the Lancers and the Royal Musketeers. And as we continue, we got the boys, followed up by the two Dragoon units. Two lines going with infantry, backed up by the drummer section. And over on the right, we got the Grenadier Guards. And on a suitable high ground above all of this, I've got my own battery situated. And with that, let's go ahead and start. What I want to focus on... Oh, they've put all their artillery right... I'm going to focus in on their... Oof. Okay, so they did not go ahead and place their artillery as I thought they might. Right off into the... Oh, they've got mortars as well? I completely missed that. We're gonna advance a bit with the Swiss, but I think our main advance is gonna be on this side, because I'm not gonna walk the Swiss straight into the enemy's cannon fire. That would be suicide. There, we lure the enemy in to... not entirely sure why. I can't hear any of them firing. Or why it was delayed like that. Look at that, it's guard. Oh shit, am I still targeting them with my artillery? Target the upcoming squadron instead. Let's not blast our own man. Good, and with that fired, focus further away. So the enemy cavalry rode straight into that and got absolutely slaughtered. I think they might actually be firing for the pikes. Their cannons, which I was kind of fearful of, have proven not to be that dangerous. Not that dangerous at all. We're gonna move those up, and I'm going to move these dragoons. Now instead we're gonna get them around, and we're gonna come at the enemy from this side. Time to advance this line. And so we want to start to move towards the flank of the enemy, where we outmaneuver them. Get the drummers in there as well. And then we should advance the two grenadier units over to the side. Now the enemy is mostly kind of situated themselves behind the woods. I'm not sure what to target. It doesn't look as though there is that much infantry as I thought there were. So expatriate infantry. Here we got the blue guard. They're very blue indeed. A very striking blue color. So it will be quite easy to see them. Another guard unit. Provincial guard infantry. But yeah, it doesn't look like there's a whole lot of them. The Swiss continuously taking cannon fire here. But I'm not too worried. Actually, you know what? It's going to take forever to get the dragoons around there. I'm pretty sure we can move this way instead. Some of their cannons are counter-batter fire on us. What I'm thinking we're going to do is we're going to destroy all the batteries so that my infantry can advance. And we're going to do that by having the dragoons charge in and get rid of their entire battery. They've got tons of guns, but they haven't done that much damage. Well, they've taken 60 men out of this unit, which is pretty bad. So, I mean, as much as it's an unusually good position that they've taken up. I was sure they were going to place all of it deep within the town. So here comes my dragoons. A few of them were hit by cannon, but they're going to sweep in and start cutting up all the batteries. As that happens, we're gonna advance even further with the main line to follow up the success of the cavalry. These two grenadiers, I'll see if I can get them through the town. We've got a counterattack by enemy cavalry. I want to strike this battery. The battery seems to be holding on fairly well. I'm gonna withdraw this dragoon, hoping that I can maybe drag the enemy's cavalry with me across towards the Swiss. We're gonna make sure that we don't shoot our own. Oh, enemy general was hit. Alright, we're gonna continue to get our dragoons back to our lines. Looks like they are following. And now there's more of a gap in between us and them. So I'll order the troops to open fire. And now 3 regiments are firing upon them, and their cavalry is forced to retreat. What's this? Oh, now they're hitting my my cavalry over here. They have been hitting them for quite a while, actually. Completely missed that. We're gonna continue our advance up the flank. To make sure that we keep the pressure on and try to break up these positions. As that is happening, we will switch positions with the others. I'm gonna send the Lancers after this little unit. And slowly we are working our way on squeezing in the enemy, which is slowly retreating towards the high ground over beyond the town. I'm gonna punch a bit of a step into these grenadiers to get them into position more readily, and then we'll get the dragoons set up over there. Let's have our battery focus in on their battery up here. Our lancers managed to scare away those guys, but I don't want to run straight into the enemy, so we're going to pull back. I'm actually going to push the pikemen over to that side. And now the generals kind of come within range of the enemy fire, so I'm going to pull them back. We're going to get the cavalry up into the woods. We're starting to receive some fire. The Swiss are soon to respond. And at the same time we got quite the fight going on in the woods. It's the dragoons. They're doing their best to hold up our advance through this area. However, they cannot compete with the volume of fire being produced by our regiments. Okay, so one of the grenadiers have made it through. And now not only the cavalry is gone, but so is part of their artillery as well. It's time to move forward, so we'll move to next step. And we'll get the drummers in there as well. The boys will advance through the woods, set up over here. Okay, so we are trading fire with the Blue Guard. And I think it might be prudent here to actually send in more of the Swiss to deal with this. There's about a 5 points difference in accuracy in between the Blue Guard and the Swiss. So a cavalry charge might be in order from the musketeers. I'll set them in motion to be ready for such an attack. Our formation here is slowly getting into position. We're gonna get the dragoons to come up to the flank, and now the grenadiers are ready to advance towards the side there. Right, so we are producing quite a bit of fire here, but it's not really enough. And we're oh wait, they're all kind of pulling back. A little bit risky moving like that. We're gonna see if we can. Oh, they're moving towards the royals now. So we're gonna charge. Will they be able to get... They got a few shots off, but nothing major before the Royal Guard strikes them. And before any more troops, I'm gonna redraw that. So now we got line instead to hold up against these. And we might have to throw in some more cavalry over there. Get the boys a bit closer. What's left of the general's bodyguard has decided to join in. Looks like my cavalry is not doing that well against the enemy. However, I'm sure once I pull back, which I will right about now, then when the Swiss open up at this distance, that close to the enemy, that they will absolutely destroy them. I'm surprised that the enemy is slowly kind of just continuously shrinking their line with no like consideration of trying to sort of fight back against us. I'm gonna order the cannons just to fire kind of in this. God damn it! Weren't you supposed to shoot these guys down? A thin blue line once again getting charged by my troops. I'm gonna send in the Lancers to break up this formation that is moving forward. And finally, looks like I got rid of the Blue Guard, but at a hefty cost of my musketeers. Okay, we've just thrown about their formation, thrown that out of line. So I'm gonna pull back and allow my units to fire them down. We'll keep the pikemen in step with the line. General decides to attack the boys. Oh, we do. Kinda looks like there's a major advance coming on here now. Let's see the power of the Grenadiers. Dragoons will take up position here and then we'll set up to fire up the back of the enemy. Charge here, and then you will charge straight across because I don't think this Swiss unit will hold against the Blue Guard for too long. Our Grenadiers follow the enemy unit. Join in. Actually set up here. And you dealing with the expatriates really well, actually. Okay, so pikemen dealing with the Blue Guard. Heavy losses on both sides. Local militia versus the Swiss and the 1st Guard Squadron. Reorganize that a bit. Order the Dragoons to fire at will. What I think we'll do now is the back line will now move forward to take center stage. And they will fire at will, while the other units will hold their fire. So we're bringing in the reserve line, fresh units, ready muskets, ready to unleash devastating volleys on tired enemies. I'm gonna pull back the Dragoons. The militia continues to harass over there. Oh, the pikemen were successful in dealing with the Blue Guard. Surprised that the enemy holds for as long as they are, given the volume of fire being produced against them. But now, as we see, there's not a lot of enemy units holding on. I'm surprised this one has held on for as long as it has, given that the guard cavalry here, the Grenadiers, did really well at dealing damage to those. Slowly are encircling the enemy. That was the Blue Guard doing that devastating volley. Let's see if we can reorganize the cannons a little bit. Trying not to shoot at our own men. So even with me switching out and putting the fresh troops on the line, oh, holy sh! They are firing grenades from horseback. And they mostly kill their own, it seems. That will be quite devastating. Can I get you to fire on the blue guard over here? And can I get you guys to fire over here? I want to see if I can get these to fire up towards the blue guard. I didn't think they were going to actually fire hand grenades. Oh, they do have that kind of musket. Do you want to fire? Oh, there we go. Okay, it's a suicide grenade. It doesn't work at all. They fired just ahead of themselves. And it's mostly just to kill their own horsemen. What's this? Tons of blue guard has turned up in my flank. The fight continues at a quite alarming rate, I must say. The fact that we haven't broken them yet. Join in over here. And then you can charge them in the back. I don't know if that was reinforcements or if they were held up in town. Oh, it is reinforcements coming in. I didn't even notice that we're going to get any reinforcements. Charge in the back. You're out of shot. I'm sure these guys are going to be out of shot soon enough anyways. So we're going to fix bayonets. And throw all these troops in. And then this entire line will do a step forward. And seeing as though there might be reinforcements coming in here, I'm going to turn this entire force to this side. Looks like we were kind of successful though in breaking down the blue guard over here. And at the same time not. This is going to be an expensive fight. Given the amount of troops and stuff that has died from this. The Swiss were broken over there. Might not have been a great idea to fire cannon into friends like that. Might be high time to hold fire actually with the cannons. This entire force will now charge into the back of the blue guard. They were fought off. Provincial guard is kind of stuck. Hopefully they won't actually join the fight. You know what? It ends today. Fix bayonets and go up that hill. Fix bayonets and up the hill. And just in case these bastards want to come in, you will move over there. Join the cavalry attack over there. Look at that, the blue guard surrounded these two lancers. But now as wave of infantry comes in, the blue guard held on, but eventually they were slaughtered. And so were the 2nd Battalion of expatriates as well. And currently I cannot see that there are any enemy troops left standing on the field. So why am I not winning the fight? Is it because of this unit? Is that going to count as a defeat just because these guys aren't able to come into the fight? I still got almost 40 minutes. I could try and get my artillery to kind of blow up the houses over here. But we'll have to blow up the entire town on the way there, it seems. Anyways, I'll you know, claim victory now. Even if the game doesn't allow me to. It took me quite a while, but eventually I managed to shoot down. You can see how all the buildings have been destroyed in a path here to make it so that my cannons were able to get that last house and release that one soldier for his eternal damnation to be stuck behind here. Well, he's still stuck in the house. Just now he's right underneath it. A very bloody affair to be said, but then again, most of our affairs have been very bloody. As of what I can tell right now, no unit was absolutely completely destroyed, so everyone will remain. I think the only unit we really had that retreated was the 12th Battalion of the Swiss. Otherwise, everyone stood their ground, even though they were ground down quite a bit. You can see some units down to 68 men here. In terms of the total casualties, you can see that we lost about half of our force, while the enemy lost more or less everything. Out of their 6,200 men, they lost 5,100. Leaving 1,100 men, almost 1,200 men left, compared to my 3,000. The enemy team killed about 200 of their own, while I killed about 350, 340, 344-ish of my own. In terms of who killed the most, we actually have the Horse Grenadier Guards killing the most at 400. So they were good. I just don't think the grenades did that well. Or, I guess they can do well if you were able to write... Imagine this. In the was it? No, it wasn't. Yeah, it was the previous battle. Against those clumped together natives. Imagine me riding up a Horse Grenadier, unleashing those grenades right in front of them. You know, destroying everything there. I could get a lot of kills through that. Lances. I have really been sleeping on the Lances, thinking they were quite useless, but they were able to kill 302 men. Actually, all the top units are cavalry, followed by one Swiss. Pikemen come up here as well. Cannons didn't do too well, but then again they didn't have good targets. But there we have it. That's the Battle of Brussels. The area falls to me. They're not actually resisting occupation as much as one would think. Or I guess they're relieved that they are in the hands of the French now. As soon as possible, I will continue on and attack Amsterdam. And this time around, will not be kind to the Dutch. Certainly not. Not that we necessarily were very kind to them in the last battle. Because the battle took so long to actually conduct, I'm not sure that I have much time left in this episode. Now, the battle took a total of 45 minutes to complete, but a lot of it, around, you know, almost 15 minutes, maybe even 20 minutes, were just me leveling the town, just so I could get that one guy to, die. One single guy holding up. I wonder if he hadn't died, if he would have counted as a defeat for me, and I would have to be forced to withdraw. Unfortunately, quite a bit of blow guard still in the hands of the Dutch. So yeah, I'll check. I'll do the end turn, and then I'll check roughly how much I have recorded, and we'll see whether or not we can continue. Certainly not for a battle, but I'm sure we can do some movements, buy some troops and stuff like that, and I can kind of set up for the next episode, where we, I think that capturing the capital is going to be a cakewalk, so I might just do, like, sort of what I do for the end screen, just do kind of a cinematic view of me capturing the castle, because we've already captured it once before. It's not that important. It's more interesting to see sort of what the British come up with in North America and stuff like that. I also know from, you know, earlier, obviously I record at a speed or I record more episodes than I release, so you're always behind, and a lot of people have been saying about India. Why don't you talk about India? Obviously, they do not have the same, you know, we're talking about people talking, you know, they haven't seen up to this point, so they don't know, you know, that my ports are being blocked, I can't recruit a lot of navies and so on. But as soon as we are able, I will launch a fleet to capture here, this island of Ceylon. And then from there we'll work our way through India. Most likely we're looking at the secondary after establishing a base here. Next up would be to take Bengal and Calcutta. And then from there working our way to subdue the Indian subcontinent. With that said, all I have left is to end turn. So let's do just that.